So what did we get taught about sex ed or intimacy? The short answer is we didn't really get taught anything about it until we were planning on getting married, which didn't happen for me. But here's kind of how it went. So when an Amish woman in my culture was pregnant, if there were older siblings there, they wouldn't tell their older kids that the mother was pregnant and that they were expecting another child. And so I remember very vividly, waking up one morning and just hearing a baby cry, and I'm like, what's that? And I go downstairs and I have a new baby sister. Did not know anything about the fact that my mother was pregnant or that I was gonna have a sibling. And my parents had 19 kids, and I was right in the middle. So I remember when the last 5 or 6 of my siblings were born. So knew nothing about that. And so from there, we started dating at the age of 16 and a half, not 16, 16 and a half. And I very clearly remember on the day that my twin and I have a twin sister, that we were going to go to one of the events that the kids go to when they're dating. My mother pulled us to a side. It was our first time going. And she's like, the only thing that she told us was, keep your clothes on. And we kind of looked at her like, what are you talking about? There was no other explanation. There wasn't here's how it works. Here's what happens. You can get pregnant. Please don't do that. It was, keep your clothes on. That was it. That was our little sex ed speech. And so from there, when they actually do educate them, it's typically right before they get married. So I didn't get married in the Amish community, but I do remember that there were people that said that it was the night before their wedding, they got the talk, the sex ed talk, hey, here's how it works. This is what's gonna happen. And you're probably going to get pregnant because we don't believe in birth control. And that was their education. That was their sex ed. But the reality is this, kids are kids. We found things out and things happen. And so it's not like I didn't know anything or any of it before then. I had an idea of it, but I was never educated behind it or really taught anything other than kids talking and all of that. So with that being said, it's very, very private. And even when someone is married in the Amish community, they're extremely private with their relationship. There is no PDA. And one of the reasons that I left actually is when I was 14 or 15, I started to realize they don't have any kind of love and affection. And so we didn't get any hugs. We were never told I love you. We didn't know what it was like to have a kiss, nothing. And so I just remember thinking too, and I knew what all of those things were. And I remember thinking to myself, if I can't have those things, and if I can't freely have those things, I don't want to be a part of it. And so that was actually one of my reasons that I was I can't be here. The other reason that I couldn't be there is because I didn't want to get married and be a baby making machine. That was never in my DNA. It was never a desire of mine. So I said, I'm out. My twin sister, on the other hand, she ended up getting married 6 months after I left, which is a whole other story that I will tell sometime. But now she has 10 kids. Nothing wrong with that if that's what she wants. It was not what I wanted. So that's kind of the story and the synopsis of what we were actually taught about intimacy and our quote unquote sex ed education.